Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm Martin and welcome back. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about the enemies we'll be facing in Destiny 2. We'll be going over the Fallen Houses, of course the Cabal, the Hive, the Vex, and the return of Sivir. So starting with the Fallen, there's going to be a new House of Fallen we've never seen before that don purple cloaks, and we can kind of see a bit of the symbol on the back of their cloaks here, but we don't know what this house is called just yet. All we know for now is that this house mainly occupies the European Dead Zone. Even back in Destiny 1 we knew from the Grimoire that the Fallen had a presence here. In the trailers it appears that they will also have a presence on Nessus, where we can see this Titan obliterate a Fallen captain before Fist of Havocing a pike. Now I'm wondering what has happened to the House of Kings. As the Fallen currently stand, they are a broken and divided race, with all the leaders being killed off except for one, and that is the Kell of the House of Kings, and it seems like what remains of the other fallen houses, they have burned their banners and possibly united as one. So I wonder if this new purple house is a pre-existing house, or if this is the result of the Fallen uniting to form one completely new house. We'll just have to wait for more information. I was also speculating the idea of the Fallen possibly attempting to harness the Traveller's light in the European Dead Zone. As we know, there's a giant shard of the Traveller located here that was blown off during the collapse, and the light spilling from this shard has become corrupted. We also know that the Traveller once visited the Fallen before it abandoned them and visited us, and ever since the Fallen have been chasing the Traveller, trying to reclaim it. So it wouldn't come as too much of a surprise if their thirst for light led them to attempting to harness the corrupted light to make themselves more powerful. Next we have the Cabal. Obviously they're going to be the main enemy in Destiny 2, so expect to see them in most locations. The most obvious new enemy are these hound-like creatures that the Red Legion have. They're probably the most unique new enemy that we've seen in Destiny so far, since none of the races have really had any sort of pet-like creatures. We got to kill a few of them at the reveal event during the Inverted Spire Strike, and they weren't really difficult, but they can however swarm you very fast, which is what happened to me, but one shot to the head should do it. Then we see some other new variants of Cabal such as the Incendiar. These are the ones that we've seen wielding flamethrowers in the first campaign mission and can be blown up with a well-placed shot to the canisters on their back, which can also blow up groups of Cabal standing near them. During the first mission we also see two sort of mini-bosses, the first being this named boss called Pask the Searing Will, if that's how you pronounce Pask, I'm not too sure, and then later on this boss with a yellow health bar called Bran the Unbent Blade. Then there's these new variants of Cabal wielding these glowing cleavers, and these are called Gladiators. Scions have also received some new abilities. With one of their new attacks they fire some sort of purple orb that actually launches you way into the air, kind of like the Taken Phalanxes, except hopefully not quite as annoying. And Scions also now act as snipers, so whenever you're playing, make sure to watch out for the laser sights. It also looks like the Cabal Colossus has some new upgrades to their weaponry, as seen here. Instead of the huge Gatling gun that they usually wield, this one seems to be wielding what looks like some kind of huge Cabal railgun or something, and it looks like they still fire a barrage of rockets from the rocket pods on their back. It also seems like we'll actually be able to destroy some more of the enemy's vehicles now. For a split second here we can see this Cabal airship being taken out of the sky. Back in Destiny 1 you couldn't do that. Any of the dropships would just take infinite damage. You could maybe destroy some of the weaponry such as the guns on the fallen skiffs, but you could never outright destroy them. So maybe we'll actually be able to do that now in Destiny 2, or if maybe it's just these certain types of vehicles that we can. Then lastly we have this green Cabal who I believe is going to be a strike boss, because during the trailer when they're talking about strikes and nightfalls they showed this green Cabal guy. Moving on now, next is the Hive. We haven't really seen or heard much about the Hive in Destiny 2, but we do know that they will have a presence on Titan, the moon of Saturn. There's this new variant of a Hive Knight with wings, which actually looks a little bit spooky in this dark stormy setting. So I wonder if this means knights will now be able to fly or at least float around, or if this is just for aesthetic purposes. Here we have some guardians searching a hive infested tunnel, And here we have some more Hive in a tunnel being run over by one of the new vehicles we can actually get to drive in Destiny 2. Then here we have a giant Hive Shrieker, which I believe is also a new strike boss, because they also showed this Shrieker when they was talking about strikes. Next up we have the Vex, possibly the most mysterious race in Destiny, and I have a feeling the Vex may play a bigger role in Destiny 2 than we realise. There's been a bunch of speculation about the possibility of time travelling, or using the Vex network to teleport around, or even reversing time, but it's all a little bit of a stretch right now. No real solid evidence or context to some of the stuff we've seen in the trailers, so I'm not really going to get into it here. But we have seen some really interesting scenes, such as this huge Vex structure on Jupiter's moon Io, then this mysterious structure which could possibly be the same place based on the angle of the whole thing and how this entire area is tilted at an angle. Then the thing that stood out to me the most are these two scenes right here. I have literally no idea what this is about, but it just looks crazy. It looks like possibly two stars, or maybe something else, I don't know. You never really know what the Vex are up to, and it's also possible that the Vex are hiding some kind of weapon. It's mentioned during the Inverted Spire strike that the Cabal are digging for something on Nessus. So I wonder if the Vex have some kind of technology or weapon that the Cabal want to take advantage of. Anyway, we haven't really seen any major new types of Vex so far, other than the boss at the end of the Inverted Spire strike, if you want to count that. But the Vex Minotaurs now actually have a weak spot in their stomach, just like the rest of the Vex, which is great because Minotaurs previously never had a crit spot and would just tank damage. Vex Harpies have also received a new upgrade. Now they can fire laser beams as well, which can be seen during the strike gameplay. Now, last up, it seems that Sivir is going to be returning. Although we haven't seen them just yet, there is a moment in the trailer when they're explaining how clans and guided games work. There's a split second where if we pause it, we can see the description for this Nightfall strike. It says, Sivir Corrupted Fallen have made their next... I think this is a mistake they've made here. I believe this is supposed to say made their next move, or maybe next is supposed to say nest, inside a crashed ship. We cannot allow Sivir to gain a foothold here, so that just confirms that Sivir will be returning. Anyway, that is all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. If so, a like is greatly appreciated. I also want to thank everyone for the crazy support on videos recently. It really makes me happy to see that you guys are enjoying the content. We're almost at 65k subs, and this is just the start. We've got a crazy few months ahead of us. We have E3, then the beta, then Gamescom, and lastly the full release in September. If you want some more Destiny 2 info, be sure to check out some of my previous videos. On the left I go over the new faction gear we'll be seeing in Destiny 2, and in the video on the right I talk about the Cabal attempting to destroy our sun. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.